Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and without wasting any time, let's start today's video. So today's video is going to be about Halifax. So a lot of students coming to Cape Breton University have little confusion about how come students are living or are able to live in Halifax and still get along with their school and college. So the thing is that when I was also in India, I was also very, confused, like what exactly, how can one student be in Halifax and still attend his college or university? So the thing is that in Sydney, there are very few opportunities to get jobs, and somehow there are accommodations are also fewer in comparison to Halifax. So in Halifax, chances just multiply 3 to 4 times of you getting a good accommodation at a better price, or maybe you getting a job easily. So that is one very major point why a lot of students actually prefer to live in Halifax and attend the university in Sydney, or maybe they just try to do the up and down. I'll tell you what exactly that is. So, if you want to work in Halifax or you want to stay in Halifax, now Halifax is the capital of Nova Scotia, so it is like a huge city in comparison to Sydney. So, therefore, if you think that for you living in Halifax is a much better option, you are looking forward to live like that, or if you are planning to come to Cape Breton University and you're finding it hard to find accommodation, or you're finding it, you're feeling a little bit confused whether you will get the job or not. So, this video is going to help you really. All right. So, the one very important part is that this process has to start before your semester has started or before you have registered for your classes. Because once you have registered for your classes, it's going to be very difficult for you to again reschedule everything. Therefore, this process first, prerequisite will be that you are still to register for your classes. Now, if you are still to register your classes, so what my advice to you will be that try to register as many classes in one day or maximum 2 days. For example, if you have 4 classes planned, then you can plan 2 classes on Monday or 2 classes on Tuesday. So, therefore, what's going to happen is now you have some opportunity to leave from Halifax on, let's say, Monday morning around like early, let's say 6 or 7 a.m. So you leave and you have your first class planned at 11 or 12 or maybe 1 p.m. Now you attend the first class 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Then you have the next class planned for, let's say, 4:30 to 7 or 7:30, any remaining time slot. After that, you have to stay a night in Sydney. Now, that can be with any of your friends if you want to save a few bucks, or you have to rent out a hotel or a motel or Airbnb or any space for like one night. Now, approximately that costs you around $60 to stay in Sydney, like in a hotel. Also, now the next day when you wake up in Sydney, you have to again attend both of your classes. Now, the next day, Tuesday classes have to be early morning as you have to leave back for Halifax in the night. So, let's say you plan one early morning class 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., and then you plan your second class from 12 p.m. to maybe, let's say, 2 p.m. So, what's gonna happen is after you complete your classes for the day on Tuesday, so you can again get your cab or whatever service that you're going to use to go back to Halifax. It can be your friend's cars, it can be a rental car, it can be cab service. There's a lot of transport going on between Halifax to Sydney, so that's not a problem anymore. Only problem is you need to manage all your classes and schedule like accordingly. So, what my recommendation is that if you complete your class by, let's say, 3 p.m., so you can as might as leave around 4 or 5 back to Halifax, which is going to make you reach Halifax around 10 or 11 p.m. in the night, and then you can again start with your work, because 5 days you're gonna be free. Like 5 days you're gonna stay again in Halifax. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And again on Monday morning you have to take the class, or you have to take the ride to Sydney to attend both your Monday classes and your Tuesday classes. Now sometimes students are very lucky enough to get all four classes in a day, so that's also one thing. It's gonna save you a day, but it gets a little bit tiring for sure. Imagine, traveling for 6 7 hours straight and then attending four classes, then again traveling back. So it's gonna be a very tedious process. So you need to be, very mindful about it. My recommendation is gonna be that this thing is clearly not for everyone. Like for example, who's not planning to travel that much, has to settle in Sydney. And also there is one very important point, that from August 2023 online classes are going to be cancelled. Like there are no online classes gonna happen, because COVID is fully finally over, and all online classes have been cancelled. Now all online classes have been shifted to physical classes. So you might wanna, some people might be thinking that what if I take two online classes and two physical classes. So I'm just telling you that if you can get online classes, then it's even more better, because let's say if you only have two classes, then you can easily attend two classes and make the ride from Halifax to Sydney and back. But if you have like all four classes, then you have to be careful, and also be careful about if you're gonna get the online classes or not, because as far as I remember, the authorities, I spoke to them and they were telling me that from August 2023 we're gonna cancel most of the online classes because COVID is no more. So that is one thing. So I'll tell you one thing, that before, when I was coming here, so I was also very skeptical about how I'm going to do the Halifax to Sydney thing. So I decided not to, because there was hard winters. I came in Jan intake, so the roads were always full of snow and it was snowing. So I felt that it's very risky to make the 6 to 7 hour journey, right? And sometimes the roads are so bad that it's not advisable to even get outside your house, nonetheless to drive for 5 hours straight. So the students who might be planning for Jan intake, they need to be the most careful, because up till September or fall intake it's like pleasant, so the roads are fine and all the transport is working properly. But in winters the situation gets really difficult. Now I'm not saying that it gets difficult, so it's impossible. It's not impossible. A lot of my friends have been actually from the Jan intake, and they have been doing this since January. So the Halifax and Sydney up and down. So, but just make sure that now my friends, those who are doing, I think some of them got lucky that they got classes like in one class, all the classes in one day, or maybe some had in 2 days, maybe some had all online classes. So maybe that's why it was possible for them to stay in Halifax, get a job and accommodation in Halifax, and continue with the Sydney University CBU. So this is how things folded out. This is how things unfolded. This is a very complicated situation for a beginner, like who is coming for the first time or is having his first semester over here. Like they hardly have a clue about what's going on, like how do people manage living in Halifax and coming back for Sydney for their studies. So it's like a very, I would say, mind-boggling thing. So yeah, guys, this is the most of it that I've already told you. And still, if you guys have some confusions, so I'm always here to help out. My Instagram ID is given above, and you can just send me hi, or just follow my profile. It's a motivational page, so it's not like I'm promoting my personal pictures and all that. That's a whole different. YouTube is different. So, anyways, What I was trying to say is that if you can't get in touch with me, I'll try to respond as soon as I can, or I'll try to give you more insights which might be helpful or beneficial for you. So thank you guys for the support that you all have been giving me, and I really want to make more and more infotainment videos, not necessarily just information, but yeah, of course, a lot of fun related stuff also. So let's end the video here, and I hope that you're coming here, so your English has to be strong, and if not, then just make it strong. I can't help it. Yo guys, there's one more point I forgot to add, that sometimes the professors are very considerate if you're gonna come from Halifax, and sometimes they are gonna say that they really don't care if you're coming from further away places, because they don't care. Some care and some of them don't care. So it's, you can't just call it even. So it's fair for everyone. I hope you liked the video today. I'll see you in the next one.